This video is focused on how to configure and customize Azure boards. So we're going to be looking at how to create a team in Azure DevOps and add team members to that team, how we can create a sprint in Azure DevOps, how we can create different work items. I'm talking about epics, user stories, tasks, all of that work items there, and how we can add a column, how we can like style our board with colors, right? So tagging, tag colors and, style colors on how we want things to appear on our boards. All right, so thank you all for coming again to watch our Azure DevOps videos, a collaboration between Agile Compass Consulting and Aisha Scrum Tech. Very excited to have you all again here. All right, let's get right into it. So how do we create a team in Azure DevOps? So this is our project. We're logged in our project. So we'll go to project settings here. Once we go to project settings, you see the option teams. We'll click on teams. And then you see that we have a default team set up by, Azure DevOps, but we want a new team, right? So I'll go here and click on new team, and then I'll put a team name. Let's give this team name team A. And then team members. So you can add your team members here, and there are many other options or ways that you can add team members. But for this, let's add the team member here. So I'll go ahead and type any email. If you have someone already in your organization system, once you start typing their name, it's going to pop up. So you can also do that. So for this, I'll do admin. Okay, at aishascrumtech.com. So this is what I have in the system already. So I'll go ahead and add that. Of course, you can add a description. If you want to be a member of this team, you're going to make sure that this is checked. And if you want the area path to be the same as the name of the team, you're going to check that. It is very important. I always encourage that, your area path is the same as your team's name. So that's very helpful. You'll see that as we go about in this video. All right, and once we're done with that, we're going to hit create. Okay, so now we've created our team here. So if you look here, you see that we have 2 team members in this team. So let's say someone joins a team and they want you as a Scrum Master to add this person to this team, right? So go ahead and click on that team, and then you can still go here and add the new team member who just joined your team. So that's where you can go to add that. And let's say someone is leaving your team and they want you to take that person out of your board. All you have to do is, click on that person's name and then remove them, right? Or you can go here and remove them. So that's how you can add in a team member, and that's how you can remove a team member. All right, so that's about it. Let's move to how we can create sprints in Azure DevOps. So to create sprints in Azure DevOps, we'll go to project configuration. The good thing about Azure DevOps is that you can have one project but have so many teams in that particular project, right? So what happens is that if you want to do your sprint settings, it is very important that you consider doing it under project settings so that the sprints apply to every team in this project. That way we have a set workflow. We all start at the same time and end at the same time, and it keeps everybody in check, right? And also even the meetings in check if we need to give reports and all of that good stuff. So that's what you can do. So we'll do that on that project settings. And one other good thing about sprints with Azure DevOps is that the sprints start and end automatically. So you don't need to go in and start a sprint or go in and end the sprints just like we do in Jira. What happens here is once you put in your dates in your sprints, if your sprint was supposed to end, for example, yesterday, today the new sprint will start automatically, right? So for this project settings under our sprints iterations here, or sprints, the same thing, you see that it automatically populates this number of sprints already for us, right? So what we're going to do is just set it up. If this is not the name that you want to see for your sprint, you click on the ellipsis here and you can edit the name of your sprint, right? But let's keep it as sprint 1, and let's go ahead and add a start and stop date. Let's say a sprint started on the 4th and ended on the 17th for a 2-week sprint. And you notice here the location is on the project, and we're gonna hit save and close. And let's say for our sprint 2, let's set the dates as the last sprint ended 17. Let's do 18. You see, automatically ends on the 31st, right? So we're going to close that as well. So that's how you can go about creating your sprint in Azure DevOps for your project. If you want to just do for your teams, you go to team configuration and you can go to iterations here and you can go ahead and add your sprint as well. All right. So that's about it for how you can add a sprint. Let's jump right in on how you can create work items. So in Azure DevOps, we call it work items. In Jira, we can call it, user stories, product backlog items, we can call whatever, different issue types there. But in Azure DevOps, we call that usually new work item. All right, so if we go to boards here, you see that we have new work item here and we have this drop down. So again, there are different ways in which you can create all of these work items, right? So many different ways, depending on where you are. If you're on your boards, work items type, on your boards, backlog, sprints, there are different options where you can create work items. But for this video, let's go ahead and use the work items option here. So we'll click on this drop down and you'll see all the issue types in this project, right? We'll see all the issue types. So let's say, for example, we want to create a product backlog item. A product backlog item here will definitely refer to as user story. I don't want to dive into all of these differences for now because Azure DevOps just has their way in which, they put in their stuff. If you look here, we'll understand that Epic is a bigger unit, right? And in Azure DevOps, we do have features. So features, lots of features or a couple of features will make up an Epic. So the Epic is a bigger unit, followed by features, and then followed by product backlog items or user stories, and then followed by task, right? And the impediment here will just refer to like, okay, maybe we have some issues that we want to resolve, and whatever blockers, if we want to represent that as this, you can definitely do that. But that's just an issue type to add on the board there. I really love to keep this very, very simple so everyone can understand. So let's just focus on the Epic, the features, and the product backlog item and task. So to create either of this, I will just hit on, for example, the Epic, and I'll go ahead and add my title. So let me just give this a title, Epic Epic 1. You see that you have your state here. We'll talk about state in another video. And you have your reason. This is gonna fall on the epics. You see here we have our area path and we have our iteration. Of course, you can always change this to fit what you need it for. So we also have our description. This is where you can write the whole epic description. You can write your acceptance criteria in this box here. And the discussion is where you can have communications going, right, with this particular epic. So that's that. For priority, this is where you can set priority from 1 to 4. If this is an urgent epic and we need to get on, we can set it there. The efforts as well, you can definitely do that. There's usually the start and end. Yes, okay. So this is a start date and this is a target date, which is the end date. So you can put in your start date and your end date on when you think you can complete this epic. Usually, please do not let your product owners do this by themselves. It is a team effort. Get your team involved so that your team can, speak on, the time duration in which they feel that they can complete this, because they are the ones doing the work and they'll be able to give you, a better or more accurate estimation of when they can complete this work. All right, so if you want to add a tag for your epic, you can 100% add your tags here by clicking on add tag, and you can go ahead and add whatever tag you want to add. And then if you look on the right hand side here, we are currently on details. This is history. So if the next one is history here will just let you know who has touched what on this epic, who has edited what, whatever activity that has happened here, it would let you know who did it, when they did it, and every information you need to know. And then the next one here are links. So if there are any links you want to add, you go here and add them. And you can also, see whatever links that has already been added. And attachments will be the same thing. You can add attachments, and you can also see if there are any attachments here. Very important in Azure DevOps, you will have to click save. If you do not click save, everything else that you've input on this particular epic will not be saved, right? So I'll go ahead and hit save for this epic. So our epic is created. That's our epic. Let's say I want to create a user story. For example, I'll go back here and I'll create a product backlog item, right? So I'll call this user story 1. And please remember, this is a Scrum board, and that's why you see those different work items. If we were using maybe the agile board or CMMI board, or we're using the basic board, we're going to see different work items. Remember, we talked about this in our first video. So if you didn't watch that video, please go back and take a look, and you'll be able to understand the differences of the work items that we're seeing here. All right, so let's create a user story. User story 1 is pretty much the same thing on the state, and for the descriptions as well, the acceptance criteria as well as discussion, the same thing. And then for the details section, you can also put your priority. You can put the efforts, which is a user story point here, and you can put business value if you want to, of course, and the value area is business. And you also have all of these options to see history, links, and attachments. All right, and then for this user story, we're going to add a tag. So let's say, because we already have these 2 tags here, it's popping up. But if you wanted to create a new tab, all you have to do is, just type it out and then click on it. Let's give this user story a tag name. Let's just say tech, right? Let's just say tech. And you see that we have tech on there. And if we want to add a new tag here, we click on add new tag. And because I would like us to use expedited, I will start typing that, and you see that we have expedited popped up, and that's a tag. So we've created our tag. Tags are so important because when you want to pull data, a lot of times you will need tags in your queries to be able to pull your data, right? And even when you want to style your board and things like that. So this is very helpful with that. All right, so we're going to hit save to save this user story. All right, so let's say that we want to create a task. So you can also go here and create a task. But for this video, I want to create a tag under this user story, right? I can go to boards. There are so many ways you can do this, but I just want to do it this other way. So you can go to boards here and add task to this particular user story, right? So you can add a task there. Let's say task 1. You just hit anywhere around, and the task is already there. You can add a second task. Let's call this task 2. And that's it. So you see that we already have 2 tasks for this user story. If you want to create another work item in another way, this is where you can go. You can say new item, and you can see create a new item right here on the board, right? So let's say user story 2. All right, so we created a user story 2 right here. You can also add an assignee here if you want to. There are shortcuts to that. And you can also, add task if you want to. You can move it to a different column. You can move to a different iteration. You can move to a different position. You can add tests. You can delete. You can do a lot of things on these other options right here. So that's how you can go about creating your work items in Azure DevOps. Again, we do offer level 2 program for Scrum Masters who are for people who are aspiring to be Scrum Masters, and level 3 for on-the-job Scrum Masters who are looking to get motivated, who are looking to, get someone to hold their hands, to guide them, to make sure that, they're adding value to the organization. So please reach out to us if you need our services at admin@aishascrumtech.com. All right. So let's move on. So for our next item here, we're going to look at how we can create or add a column, right? So to add a column, we are still on board here. So we're going to go to our settings and then we go to columns right here. So you see that for this workflow, we have new, we have committed, we have approved, and we have done. You can edit any of these columns to fit your needs. A lot of teams will have new, will have, for example, they'll have to do, they'll have in progress, you have dev complete, you have test. You can have as many different columns as you will need for your workflow. So I just want us to add one column here. Let's just add a blocked column so that we can see any ticket that has been blocked so that we can, work to make sure that that ticket gets unblocked. So we're going to click on add column here. When we click on add column, you give that a column name. I'm going to call this blocked. And then this WIP limit automatically pops up here. You can decide if you want a WIP limit for your board, or if you do not want a WIP limit, it's definitely up to you, but make sure your team is in agreement with whatever WIP limit that you want to assign to this column, right? Remember, we encourage WIP limit because we want to ensure that, the developers are not multitasking. So we're picking up one ticket and getting it completed before picking another ticket. This is very helpful for everybody in the team because you get testers to start testing earlier as well. And a lot of benefits when we actually have WIP limits in place. Okay, so we're gonna add our WIP limits there. And then we're gonna hit, if you want to add a definition of done, you can 100% add a definition of done there. But if you do not want to add a definition of done, that's okay. A definition of done in this block column will be whenever the blocker has been, resolved, right? So you can add that there if you would like to, and then you save it. So this takes us to this page, but I'm not done yet. My workflow doesn't look good to me. So I want to be able to make sure that, the workflow is accurate, is flawless. So when we have a new ticket, for example, we might want to commit. We might want committed to come before the blocked, right? So in order for us to do that, you just click on this ellipsis here and you move this column to the left. So you see that when we have a new ticket and then the team commits to the ticket, and then maybe in the course of getting the work done, the ticket gets blocked and then they can move it to the blocked column, right? So that's how you can, move the columns across to ensure that the workflow looks good to you. So just wanted to point that out there, and then I'll go ahead and click save. Okay, let me refresh this. All right, so you see that we have new, we have committed, we have blocked, approved, and we have done. And you see the 0 on 5 here. The 5 is just the WIP limit that we've set for committed column. And then for the blocked, the 5 here is also the WIP limit. So Azure DevOps automatically sets this WIP limits. You can change it to whatever number that you would like in our column settings there. All right, let's do some styling. So if we want to add a color to our tags, remember we added some tags. If we want to add a color to, let's say, the expedited items, the items that, our customer really, really wants it like ASAP, we have an urgent and priority item that needs to be worked on, and we want everybody to visually see these items and follow through, right? To ensure that it gets done, we're going to add a tag color. So I'll click on add tag color, and I'll select, the tag that I want to add a color to. Let's say, for example, I want to add a color for expedited. And of course, since it is so urgent, we're going to use a danger color red, right? So I'll use a red here, and then I'll hit save. So if you notice, we have our user story 1 showing expedited here as red, right? So that's what we want to see. We want to ensure that, our expedited ticket everyone sees the urgency right there. All right, let's say we want to add a color to our blocked column. So any user story that's on the blocked column is going to be that color. So that way we can also track, see our tickets that are blocked. All right, in order for us to see, we need to have a ticket here. So I'm going to move this user story 2 to our blocked column, and then we'll go in there and add our styling color for that. All right, so to move this ticket, I can just, move it across the board like that. So just copy and drag, just pull and drag it to that part. Okay, let's move to our settings here, and you go to styles and you click on add styling, right? So what name do you want to give to the styling? I will give it the name blocked. That's what I want to see. And now add a color. Let's just go with, a lighter yellow color there. And then for our field, so the field or column that we want to see is a board column, right? So we want to select board column there equals to blocked. Okay. And then we hit save. Okay. So you notice here that our ticket that is in the blocked column is actually showing a yellow color, right? It's actually showing a yellow color. So it lets everyone know this is how we flag it. So in Azure DevOps, we do not have flags like we have in Jira. We can only do like this styling to ensure that, we have things that pop up to indicate that, oh, something is going on with this particular user story that prompts us to take action. So that's the difference there. So that's about it for styling as well. And please, if you would like to enroll in our level 2 program or level 3 program, please reach out to us at admin@Aisha Scrum Tech, and we'll be more than happy to support you. So aspiring Scrum Masters on the job, you are very, very much welcome. All right, so if we want to see all of these work items that we've created, you see that we have our user story 1 and our user story 2 on our board, right? We're going to work on state in another video. Don't worry about that. All right, so that's about it for this video. Thank you so much for coming in and watching this video up to this point. We truly appreciate you. And, stay blessed. God bless you, and see you another time. Bye.